Hello beauties, Cody here, always here to help you have the most healthy, glowing, and gorgeous skin possible. And today's video is going to be an updated version of my post-care instructions for chemical peels. So it's what to do after a chemical peel. I'm updating this video because it's been about 2 years since I did that video, and it's my most watched video, so people ask a ton of questions. So what I'm trying to do in this video, I will leave a link to the other video because it's a very detailed explanation of what to do after a chemical peel. But today my intention is to really get to the point if I can, because I know I go on and on in my videos. I'm so sorry. But I love that you guys are watching and asking questions, and I really like doing this. It's really quite fun. So, and I really love you, like I really just love interacting with you guys, and it's awesome. So, with that being said, I'm going to really get to the point here. This is a general overview for all chemical peels. I will be doing other videos because I think it's time and necessary. I see horrible advice out there on what to do after a chemical peel, and so I'm going to do other videos that will show you how to care for each type of different peel, but I'll do that a little later. So today's is just a general overview, okay? All right, so the first thing you need to know is that you can't pick your skin. And I know that's obvious and everyone tells you that, but people do it. And I am shocked that people are doing that because you're taking off the white blood cells a little too soon. So the skin has been burned, basically, your face. It's a controlled burn, a chemical peel. And when you try to get the skin off too soon, whether that was your face or a little scab, underneath that skin are white blood cells. They're designed to heal and to ward off bacteria and to ward off infection and all these very important things. So when you pull off the skin, you're pulling it off too soon. You're not letting the process work. You're not going through the whole process. You're not trusting the process. You're not allowing your skin to heal the way that it should. You're trying to speed it up. And I'll tell you, that's one of the worst things you can do because you might not get post-inflammation hyperpigmentation now, but you will probably get discoloration at some point because when you take off the skin like that, you're kind of pulling up that skin and it sends a response to the skin that it's been traumatized or it's being traumatized. And in that process of inflammation and a histamine response and all those things that the skin tries to do to send more blood cells up to protect the skin, in that process, all kinds of really negative things can happen because you're not allowing the process to occur naturally because you're trying to speed it up. So I don't know if any of that made sense. I don't know if I explained it correctly, but anyway, that's kind of the gist of it. I'm not a doctor, so forgive me if I said it a little backwards there. So anyway, so that's the most important thing. You cannot pick that. You can't pick your beautiful face. Stop it. I'm going to slap your guys' hands. You know, it's just not okay. So the next thing to do is you want to make sure that you're not scrubbing your face trying to get the skin off. Because that's what people do. I see it all the time. And they're like, oh, but I had a hot day. And I'm like, I don't care. Then don't get a peel. Like, you need to let it go through its natural process, okay? You should never use hot water or even really warmish water. It should be cool to warm, not hot, ever on your face after a peel. You should never wash your face, just so you know, with hot water. But anyway, I'll do a video on that. The next thing is nothing acidic, nothing that will exfoliate your skin. No glycolic, no retinol, no lactic acid. Nothing like that should be applied to your skin unless, of course, they specifically said to do so. But, you know, you really should just be really careful. You shouldn't try to push anything into the skin to try to make it peel quicker unless it's designed to do that with a specific agent or it's a specific type of peel, like the VI peel or the Perfect Derma peel. That's specifically for that peel and formula and solution. But in general, you shouldn't be trying to add retinol to your face or anything like that. The other thing is you should use a cheap cream, in my opinion. I'll leave a link to the Aveeno cream that I recommend because you're just wasting any expensive cream. So if you it's dead skin, so you're moisturizing dead skin. So I don't recommend doing that. I do recommend that you use like an oil maybe or something that is cream based, maybe to moisturize or to wash your face so that the top layer of the skin is more permeable. I believe this is important, especially if it's your first couple times to a peel. Now, of course, everything I've said, you need to follow your provider's instructions, not mine. But in general, you should just always try to keep it very gentle with your skin and never try to make it peel any quicker. And the top layer should be permeable because you can crack and you can bleed and you can scar. And I think if the skin just has a little bit of protection on the top layer, it doesn't need to be a lot, but at least a little bit, it's allowing slip and movement in the skin so that if you laid down and you smiled, that the skin underneath wouldn't pull off and cause tightness and then a rip in the skin, and that can happen. So that's why I think having the top layer of your skin moist is important, and I do recommend that. Unless, of course, it's a very specific type of build, but we're not going into all that. So the next thing that you need to do is wear sunscreen, obviously. And the most important part of wearing the sunscreen is to reapply your sunscreen. So just because you have 100 SPF doesn't mean shit, excuse my language. You need to put that sunscreen back on your skin again throughout the day after you've had a peel. And you should do that for a whole month. It's about a whole month that your skin takes to recover. Now, I don't know the percentage of peel that you've got, but in general, if you've had a peel, your skin will be 1,000 times more sensitive to the sun, so you should just wear sunscreen anyway, because you don't want to get discoloration, you don't want to burn, and you don't want to scar, okay? So, but it's always about the reapplying. It's not necessarily, oh, I'll put sunscreen on before I left the house at like 6 a.m. I had a long day. You need to reapply, especially if you're going to be outside. So the next thing you need to make sure that you're very, very careful of is any type of chemicals or perfumes or anything that could contraindicate. So what happens, I've seen, is that because we put a chemical on your skin, you're sensitive. Sometimes a histamine response already occurred. Your skin starts to protect itself and preserve itself because there's a little bit of an allergic reaction happening. That's pretty common because of the agents in some of the chemical peels, especially if it's salicylic acid, because people are sensitive to aspirin without realizing it. So you want to be extra cautious during the healing week or however long it takes to just be extra mindful that you're staying away from other chemicals and other agents and perfumes, because what you can get is contact dermatitis, which you might not have had before, but now you might get because your skin is basically open, especially after a peel. Your skin is pretty sensitive. The pH is still not quite up to par, and the normal acid mantle that's on your skin is there to ward off bacteria and ward off infection and UV light and all kinds of stuff. So it's a little bit compromised after a peel. So you are now more susceptible and sensitive to things that you wouldn't have been in the past, including things like bleach or household cleaning agents, or being careful when you go to a gym with those antiseptic wipes that you can now, accidentally touch your face and get a rash or something like that. So I think that's pretty much it for the most part. And I'll leave all of this information below this video, and I'll do my best to get back to you right away if you're having an issue or if you have a concern with anything. But please do yourself a favor. Trust the process of the peel to do its job, and try not to make it heal quicker than it can, because it really can't. It just needs time, and it needs love, and it needs you to trust that it's going to do what it's going to do. Most of the mistakes I see are people doing weird things. This is I'll leave you with. You are getting UV light constantly, even through sunscreen. Sunscreen does not block all particles of UV light. So when you're by a window or you're in your car, you're getting light. So you need to be extra cautious with that. People aren't realizing that we're getting the UV light constantly. So even more so with a pill, so you need to be extra careful, extra cautious, and reapply that sunscreen or stay out of direct sun for sure. Okay? All right. I think I'm done. I think I got this under 10 minutes, I'm hoping. Otherwise, I'm going to have to delete this whole video and start all over. But as always, just make sure that you are very gentle. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask them below this video. And I'll leave a link where you can follow me if you want to sign up for my newsletter. And I would love if you subscribe to my channel. And as always, stay gorgeous.